Okay, so we're recording. So remember last week we spoke about sparking the vision, finding your why, spending that 30 minutes in the day just asking yourself some questions and thinking about what is important to you and who you're going to be sharing your story with. So today we're talking about, is there a place for me? And so one of the biggest setbacks that a person in our kind of field feels is deciding when we leap into a business or anything like that is, are we saturating the market? Is the market already saturated, full of doTERRA ladies or oil ladies? Is there no place for our story and for what we have to share and to bring to the table? And there was a course that I did that was actually invaluable to me, because then I found out that there's a place for every single one of us. We have a unique story. Our backgrounds are unique. Our genetic makeup is unique. Our personalities are unique. The way we speak and the way we talk to people is unique. We are only one in the whole world that will ever be and has ever been. And it was Eddie Viller's strengths talk that he spoke about in the leadership summit last year, or was it this year? No, it was last year. So yeah, I get mixed up with all this lockdown stuff, hey? But he spoke about that each of us has unique strengths that we bring to the world and we bring to the table, that when we share, people will be attracted to that because it is authentic, it's real, and it is unique to us. And that if we don't share our stories, that the world is lacking something, that they won't hear this beautiful story that has, been interwoven into who we are and who we're going to be as well. So there's plenty of space, lots and lots of space for all of us to be able to share what we have. And it's important to understand that everyone has this unique ability, that even if there is literally a wellness advocate round the corner from you, which I do have, but she's in my team, gratefully. She's 4 doors down the street, Ashley, but she is not in competition with me, because the people that she speaks to and the people that she has a story to tell to is different to the people that I have a story to tell to. And yes, she's in my team because I told my story and I shared my love of oils to her, but she has a completely unique story. And if you'd gone onto this week's Facebook education group with Plant Revolution, you would have heard her testimony yesterday of how she's being able to overcome pain for the last 18 years, dealing with chronic pain for all these years. And now she's able to share this beautiful testimony. Hold on, I'm just switching off my diffuser. It's distracting me. All right, so because we spoke about our why, we're going to start talking about our what today. Your why is different to mine. The reason why you share your story, why you tell the story, is completely different to my story. They're needing to hear, what attracted you to the oils. For me, my personal journey is because of struggling with Ronan, who battled with behavioral issues and any special needs. And then also myself, because I was dealing with some chronic pain as well, and dealing with hormonal issues and migraines. There was something that attracted me to the oils is, now I can speak from experience that these oils have helped us. So your people that you might be speaking to is, maybe your office colleagues, or someone in the gym that you chat to often, or just someone at the park that you take your kids to, or the doctors that you are in contact with. Every single person needs to hear about the natural solutions that we can offer them. And I think we limit ourselves in thinking that they don't need to hear it, and they don't need to hear the story of the oils, or even hear the story of the business. We definitely limit ourselves when we decide and we judge for ourselves what they need to hear. So if you let that limiting belief go and you just share for the sake of sharing and without having that emotional outcome, being attached to that outcome, like I spoke about last week, is then that's quite freeing, and you'll be able to share more openly and without worrying about what people will think, or that fear of rejection as well. And it's something that us in network marketing do experience a lot, is people say no quite often, and that's okay, because that's their no, it's not your no. You're still saying yes to the oils, you're still saying yes to sharing, you're still saying yes to arriving for yourself and being the person that shares the story. If they say no, that's okay. And that's something that I've had to learn as well, is that maybe their no is not a outright no. It might be not now. Maybe they're not ready to hear what you have to say right now, maybe in a few months' time. And that's why I set a schedule for myself. I've got a tool that I use, Trello, and I set a schedule. So if I've spoken to them today about oils, or just reached out to them and say, like, how are you, being genuine, and showing my heart, I set a schedule. If they're not ready to chat about oils today, or I feel in my heart that I don't want to talk about oils today, I schedule it for a month's time. And I say, you know what, in a month's time, I'll chat with them and find out how they're doing, and then talk about the oils again. So it's not about, it's a hard no. It's more like, you know what, they're not ready. But you'll be surprised and this is something that I shared with the social media stuff. You'll be surprised how many people watch you, how many people watch what you're saying on social media, what you're putting on your WhatsApp story even. And they're hearing your story from other people as well. So keep sharing. Don't stop sharing what you have to say. All right, so our unique personalities, and that's something that I would recommend you go and look up. I didn't realize that teaching is my top strength. Thinking, teaching, learning are my top three. And then empathy and what was my fifth one? I can't remember what my fifth one is. I'll have to go and look at it again just to remind myself. But that is, if thinking, learning, teaching is my top three. And that's what I'm loving doing these Fridays, is just teaching people, learning what I, taking what I've learned and passing it on and saying, what you do with what you need to do with this, I'm just going to do what I love doing. And that's teaching. So, finding your strengths is really empowering. It is actually integral to who you are, that you don't kind of, like I was chatting last week, you don't kind of patch yourself using other people's strengths and try and, be somebody you're not. And that's something that I've also found, some of the strategies are really awesome, but sticking to who you are and who you truly are, and being authentic to yourself and what you needed to do and be, because people will see that. People will see when you're not being authentic. They will, like you when you smell a rat, like they say, dogs can smell fear. People can smell when you're not being the true you. They can tell when you're forcing things from yourself. I don't know if that makes sense, but it is. I mean, if you're just living your truth, living yourself, then people will see it. And it's a beautiful thing when you can experience that authenticity, not only for yourself, but for other people as well. So I prefer one-on-one consultations, chatting to people in person. That's why lockdown has been really hard on me. I don't mind the Zoom. I love this because, I mean, I can't go and visit you, Veronica, or you, Karen, because you guys are far away. I love to. But being in person for me is really important because I love that in-person contact and being able to be real with people. The Zoom stuff is difficult, but I'm still able to get out there and chat with people. I love social media. I love being able to share my stuff on Instagram and on stories. I'm learning a lot more about that. But I'm finding that if I can sit down with a person one-on-one and chat with them in person, it's far more valuable. I also sometimes send a WhatsApp or I don't like phoning. I actually, that's something I don't like doing. I don't like speaking to people on the phone. I'd rather like drive to go see you than sit on a phone with you. Okay, so whatever method appeals to you, do it. Don't think that my way is the only way that you can do it. Don't think that somebody else on social media or somebody you've seen do it is the only way to do it. Find the way that works for you. If it's calling, if it's phoning people, do it. If it's sitting down one-on-one, do it. If it's doing a Zoom call like this, do it. Just find your niche, find your own little pathway that's going to work for you and that you'll feel like you're being authentic. The way that you share your oils is going to be unique to your personality. For me, I love to, have it available and show people how to use it and say, okay, well, yeah, we're going to put it on right now and we're going to smell it. And, that's for me really important. Oh, that chair, love it. Okay, just bottom line is be you. Don't be someone else. Be the real you, not someone you think people need to hear, or be the people pleaser that I thought I was always, I was being the person people wanted to see. But now I'm just saying it because it needs to be heard. People need to hear about oils. People need to hear our stories and how it's impacted our lives and how personal development has changed. Hi, Ash. Thanks for joining, love. So if you're unsure of your personality strengths, go and do a personality strengths test. The strengths test is invaluable. It is a paid one. There is a way to do it free. So if you need to do it free, shout, I'll give you the rundown on how to do it for free. And I've also got the book, so I can email you the book so that you can go through those strengths once you find out what they are. And like I said, that your top 5 is totally invaluable, because if you know what your strengths are, you can work with your strengths instead of work with your weaknesses. And we've been taught, like in school, is okay, if your handwriting is bad, then practice your handwriting. So if you think that your phone calling is bad, then practice your phone calls. No, that's not the case. You must work to your strengths. Work with your strengths. If your maths ability is brilliant, work with maths. And that's like in school. That's what I teach my children as well. If their strengths are in mathematics or in reading, then I say play to the strengths. Yes, practice the stuff that is not so strong, but work to your strengths, because that's the reason why we've been given strengths, is to be able to work and practice in them. And the same goes for when you're sharing. If your strength is not in phone calls, like I said, then don't go and do everything else. Go do your phone calls. For me, my strength lies here in teaching, in thinking and learning, and then handing it over so that you can learn to do it in your way, not in my way. So definitely go and do a strengths test for yourself, or a personality test, so that you can see what your top strengths are. You'll be blown away by your discovery. I know finding out a little bit more about myself is quite eye-opening and invigorating and empowering. Okay, and then you can confidently work with that after you've identified them. Eddie Villa is a great guy to follow on social media. He is phenomenal. He is so dynamic in his speaking. I think Ash, you've heard Eddie Villa talk, haven't you? Ash must be busy. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, I have, Tammy.
Yeah, isn't he phenomenal?
Yes, he is. I was actually looking at stuff and this week trying to find out which are my strongest strengths and my weakest strengths. So it's so amazing that you're actually covering this topic today. And I'm so sorry I logged on so late.
No problem, no
I've
problem.
been so busy.
No problem. I'm glad you're here. All right, so
Okay.
no one is you, and that's your power. You got to just remember that no one else is you. And the way that he puts it is like, if you had to compare your top 7, I think, strengths to the rest of the world, you would be like 1 in 8 billion. But if you had to take all your strengths, and the Gallup does 52 strengths, which I haven't done, I've only done my top 5, then you are 1 in 7,000 billion or something ridiculous number like that. And that means you are unique. That means there's never been one like you. There's not one like you right now in this world, and there'll never be one like you in the whole history of the world. So for me, that is super empowering. And so today we're going to choose our what. Okay, so we've spoken about why you want to do this, who you want to share with. Today we're going to speak about what. I learned the best way to teach my children, because I homeschool, anything new that they're going to be learning is by experience. So like for an example, we were learning about sharks, and we did this whole unit series on sharks and their reproduction and their anatomy, and we did this whole interview thing as well, where we pretended to be sharks, and so it was really fun. And then what I did is I took them to the sharks board, and though we had spent like I think it was a whole month on shark learning, when we went to the sharks board and they saw a real shark being dissected, and they got to touch the eye and the guts and stand inside a shark cage and be there, their learning was like catapulted. They remember now, even, and this was a few years ago, they remember now the things about the sharks that they learned just from that experience. Like, Mom, do you remember when we went to the sharks board and we did this and this, and this is what I learned. So the experience itself is far more valuable than just sitting with a book and reading it. You teaching somebody else or you imparting knowledge onto somebody else is far more valuable to yourself, can you believe it, than you actually just going and learning it for yourself, because of the fact that you retain 90% of the knowledge by teaching it to someone else. You retain probably 100% of the stuff when you experience it yourself. So it's very important that people get an experience of the oils, they get an experience of what you've been through by hearing your story. Okay, so first-hand experience is so more important. It creates a memory. And when you attach a smell to a memory, now this is something I've also learned, you attach a smell to a memory, then it sticks, because your smell doesn't have a language. It retains it inside that limbic system for you. All right. So when we are in business and having an experiential marketing, it's a really fancy way of saying we find ways to offer people an experience with the oils. It is our benefit to create experiences, and that's by offering them a sample or sitting down with them and letting them open bottles and experience them. I used to take my whole kit and just bombard them, which I think was a little bit nasty on my part, because it's a bombardment. I just like dump it on them and go, oh, look. But I've learned now that small little tidbits are better, that if you take maybe 3 oils with you and let them smell it and experience it, is far more valuable than taking the whole kit. But for me, I like to sit with somebody and let them smell it and say, what do you think? And if they really hate it, then then I know that's something they need. So it's an invaluable thing for me, so that I'm learning something about them as well. Because of the emotions that are attached with our smells, that they can just from smelling it, they can experience it and go, you know what, I really love this, or I really don't like this. And it gives me some insight into who they are. And then I can chat with them. It really is totally about creating an experience for everyone. So the way you offer an oil and offer an experience with the oil is going to be unique, like a fingerprint. So whatever you do and how you do it, it's going to be specifically for you. So you just find out how to do it. Some people do oil camp. Some people do classes. Some people just send a sample, or have a coffee date with somebody. It really is, you got to find out your niche, where you would fit in and how you would do it. And I mean, with what we've been dealing with this whole year, over a Zoom or over a WhatsApp call is okay. But if they've got an oil, it's far better. Okay, so your task today is to go and find your quiet place. I'm sure you found a quiet place last week. Veronica, where's your quiet place, doll?
Probably like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning when my men are sleeping.
Brilliant. Okay, so you're going to find that quiet place tonight and go do what your task has been given. Kieran, where's your quiet place, doll?
Timmy?
Yes.
Sorry, I think I lost it there.
No problem. Where's your quiet place?
In between, yeah, now like 10 until 12.
Okay.
When everybody
Right.
goes to school.
Yes, so you found a quiet spot. Awesome. And you, Ash?
I have learned to make quiet space for myself. So that's my workplace. And I just get everybody out of my way and give them stuff to do and just concentrate.
Awesome.
And block and filter my sound properly, so I can just block away from the world and concentrate on what I'm doing.
Awesome. Yeah, for me, it is, I'm grateful that my family's sacrificed a bit of their space, especially my boys, so that I can have this office space. Because then if I close my door, people in my family know, don't come in. So if you hear the creaking, it's them trying to open the door to see if I'm still busy. But it really does give me focus. If I'm sitting on my own, I play my worship music, and then I'm able to concentrate. So today you're going to find your happy place, find your quiet place, put on that diffuser blend that we spoke about last week. I'll just remind you of it. It is, I got this blend with eucalyptus, lavender, and green mandarin. So if you don't have green mandarin, bergamot works really well. And you can even use Roman chamomile for that lavender replacement. And then you're going to allow the oil to calm you and focus. And then you're going to set your timer for 30 minutes and sit and work. All right. These are the questions you're going to be asking yourself. I'm going to read them off the paper so that I don't mess up. Okay. You're going to put down names of people and places that you're drawn to share the oils. Now, for me, at one stage, it was Burndale Cafe was my lovely little spot that I used to go and sit on a Saturday morning and just let people come and chat with me. And not many people did, but I was there and I was showing up. Okay. People that pop in into your mind, maybe you exercise with them, maybe you chat with them on WhatsApp, maybe you see them at the school, or when you go to the shops, the cashier even, places that are waiting for you to offer them a wellness solution and a natural solution for their health. The people who fit your why, those people that you're talking to that are you before oils, those are the people that you're going to write down. So doing this exercise doesn't necessarily mean that you'll contact them. So that just to don't overthink things. Come on, come back to me. What will it help you with, however, is solidifying your audience in your own mind and who you're going to be talking to, who you're going to be sharing with. And in that list, when I made my list, where is it now? There's some people that I haven't been able to contact. There's some people here that I haven't reached out to, and that's okay. But for me, it was really just solidifying that that audience, that what do they call it, an avatar, that kind of person that you'll be talking to. Now, how can you create an oil experience that is going to be authentic to you? So consider your unique strengths and your talents. So after you've done this test, or after you've done the strengths test or a personality test or something like that, and then who's your preferred audience, and then take into account your why. Why are you doing this? Why are you sharing? Why are you feeling like your story needs to be heard? And yes, it does, but you need to figure that why out. Okay, so you might want to start with ideas like sharing your story on social media, just putting it out there, putting it on Instagram, putting it on Facebook. You might even want to share a booklet with somebody. So maybe you've bought a little booklet, or you've bought a card, or you've written a little note and you just want to send it to someone. Anybody that pops into your mind and into your heart that you feel like needs to hear what you have to say. All right, you can even share samples with them. I love sending samples because of the fact that they get to experience the oil firsthand. And then what else can you add? Write your ideas down. Don't worry about the finer details. Just write the ideas down. Don't stop until you've exhausted all possibilities that you can think of. You can email somebody, or you can invite them to one of my classes if you want, onto the Plant Revolution education site, or to the Pursue convention tonight. Whichever thing that you feel like somebody needs to hear, do it. Okay. And then you pop onto the closed Facebook group, the one that's doTERRA team, okay, the Royalty doTERRA team, and you're going to write down some things. You're going to put them on that post, that same one that we were running with last week. Your 3 unique strengths and talents that you possess, okay, your ideal audience, that's the second thing, and your unique oil experience that you're going to offer. Right. So we want to create a sense of community and encouragement within this little group, so that we can see that we're not alone. We might feel like we're doing this alone, but we're not. Our stories might be unique, but if we together, we feel encouraged that, I also battled with self-esteem. I really battled with, and I still do. I battle with people saying no to me. I don't want to hear no. For months, this year, I stopped talking to people. Really, like literally stopped talking to people about oils. I didn't want to hear no anymore. I didn't want to talk to people about it. I just went, that's enough. I've had enough. because we do end up spending a lot of time and effort, yes, but it's okay. It's okay to not do that. It's okay to stop for months and say, you know what, I don't want to share now. And then I got my oomph again, and I got my groove again, and here I am again, I'm sharing. So really just go with what your heart says and what what you have decided in your heart to do. Okay. Right. So that is what I wanted to share today. Remember, 3 things inside the closed Facebook group after you've done your time alone: your unique strengths, your ideal audience, and your unique oil experience that you want to offer to someone. Okay. Any questions?
Tammy, can you maybe, I don't know, on the WhatsApp group or wherever, there was like a long list of questions from last week about the why.
Yes.
And then today's those questions that we must ask ourselves about the what.
Okay.
And then just the 3 challenges for today. Can you maybe just post it there? I'd like
Sure.
to. I think what you're training us here on is it's not just oil related. It's bigger than that. It's life related. So I'd actually like to sit with Ryan and go through the why questions, and
Sure.
we're working on an idea here that I think it's going to incorporate the oils, but it's bigger than that.
Oh, awesome.
So I'd like to go through those questions with him. And then my brain is fried. So if there's those 3 challenges, if you can just post it on the group as well, then we've got all of that.
Yeah, this is the whole reason I'm doing this, is to spark something so that we can just be ourselves. And yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, I'll do that. Do you know what I'll do? I'll put it in the Facebook group so that it's all there. I'll just copy whatever I've got and then put it inside there so that it's all written down for you. Okay.
Cool. Thanks.
All right, I'm going to stop the recording.